Wow, this is big. We're getting ready to turn on the system. So excited to see this thing run. This is the good stuff.
Yeah.
That is great stuff. Hey guys, my name is Jason with Mount Baker Mining and Metals, and I'm in France at an electronics recycling plant. These guys are doing some really, really cool stuff, recycling all sorts of electronics, household items, carbon fiber, solar panels. I want to show you their plant today. Can you show me the system?
Yeah. I will. Comment?
The whole process starts here with the bridge crane, and they can lift these bags of crushed material.
You can see the little string of copper, glass, plastic.
They have two different feed materials. This is from household electronics, such as remote controls, TVs, blenders, small household electronics, things like that. Is this material the same as this material? It's the same feed, it's just smaller.
Different grade, it's 0.5 or 510.
And both of these fractions can be run through the system, and they're somewhere between 10 to 20% metallics, averaging about 13 to 15%. And this makes a really, really good feed for their system. They say this is absolutely perfect. With that amount of metallics, they can recover enough metals to make the process profitable. They use this slick little tool here to poke a hole in the bottom, and then the conveyor can automatically feed the material up into the hopper, and it moves across the vibrating conveyor into the fractionator here.
One truck per week.
One truck per week?
Yeah.
Wow.
Approximately 25 tons per week.
The fractionator draws air down from the top here, as well as this long tube underneath. That is a monster electric motor. It's very big.
250 kilowatt of power.
250 kilowatts of power.
Exactly.
So it's like a 300 horsepower motor. Wow. A very, very big motor.
Mm.
And this runs the fractionator.
Yes.
And it pulls the material through. It spins at 1500 RPM, and the material, when it gets in there, experiences 15,000 G-forces when it hits the side, and it helps delaminate the material. If you have two pieces of metal or metal and plastic, they will delaminate from each other and come clean into the two fractions, into the two separate metals or materials. It then is drawn by air through this big duct up into the cyclone. The cyclone separates out the larger pieces that are 5 to 10 micron and bigger, falls down through the star valve and into a large screen.
We create an acceleration for the particle and a force by pass.
And you said 15,000 cubic meters? That's a lot of air. They're sucking a lot of...
We refresh all the air for the bâtiment 3 times by hour.
3 times per hour.
Per hour.
For this test, they have a 1.4 millimeter screen. The oversize comes off here into a super sack. This can be run on an air table to separate the copper, aluminum, brass, etc. from the plastic. The 1.4 millimeter and smaller falls into this basin here with a pump, and they add water, and it gets pumped over to the shaker table.
For the closing system, we have the inputs in your table.
Yeah, so this is the shaker table.
Yeah.
This is Mount Baker Mining and Metals shaker table.
We have a pump for water, for the water to go to the table.
Right. So you're recycling the water over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Nice. That makes sense. So this is like the end of day filter. It all goes through this at the end of the day overnight.
Exactly.
And then all the water is clean. The fine dust gets sucked out the top of the cyclone into this dust collector here. They've tested the dust many times, and they continue to test as they operate. They run the dust on the shaker table, and there is almost no metallics in the dust at all. So all the dust collected is waste. It comes through these 4 filters here, gets augured along this trough here. You have another star valve, and then the bag of dust. Here's some. It's very, very fine. So this whole system is just to collect the dust, so it's not a problem in the air or on the table. So the cyclone is here.
Exactly.
It comes down, the larger particles come down the cyclone into the sieve,
Directly in the table.
mixed with water,
Yes.
and pumped to the table.
Yeah, pump table directly.
And everything else goes out the top. The material that gets mixed with water in the pump comes over here to the Mount Baker Mining and Metal shaker table, and they get very, very good clean separation of the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3, which all contain metallic values. The number 4 and the majority of the water come down the tailings trough into a barrel with a pump that pumps all of the waste plastic up to a header. That barrel has a screen in it where the water mostly goes through that can be pumped back up to the table. The larger plastics and pieces that get screened off fall down into a collection bag here. How do you get it dry?
In the filter big bag.
Yeah. Oh, in the hanger. Yeah, in the hanger, and it just drains
Yes.
naturally by gravity.
Exactly.
So you don't spend power to
No.
dry or anything. It just dries naturally.
Exactly.
That's great. It's a closed loop system. All the water gets recycled, so nothing gets discharged to the environment. We're getting ready to turn on the system. So excited to see this thing run. These guys have a beautiful, beautiful system. This is a very impressive system. It's very, very nice. You've done a very nice job.
Thanks.
Very impressive. We're finished with our run, and I was just talking to Charles about the ability of the table to recover metals. He was telling me that the 4x8 they have found, maximum recovery is about 200 kilograms of metal per hour. Now what that means is if you're running boards, electronics, PCB that have 35, 40, 45% metals by weight, you can only run maybe 400 or 500 kilograms per hour. The material they're running now has 15% metallics, which is more of that household waste, the blenders, the small motors, things like that. And they can run much more, up to a ton per hour. So the limiting factor for the shaker table is the amount of metallics, not necessarily the volume of the throughput. They found that with 200 kilograms per hour or more of metal, they start losing a little bit into the number 3 and the number 4. It's not mostly it's the aluminum and the lighter metals, but they want to recover 99% of the metals in the number 1, 2, and 3. And with 200 kilograms or less per hour, they can recover all the copper in the number 1 and number 2, and the aluminum and some of the lighter metals in the number 3.
Here we have fraction 1 and 2.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. That is great stuff.
Yeah.
And this is, what is this, like 99% metal? Mostly metal. I don't see any plastic in
No,
there.
here it's normally 100.
100%. Very clean. Very, very
Normally
clean.
it's very clean. Or maybe I would say 99, 99%.
Yeah, very 99, 99.9 something. And this is number 1.
Yeah.
This is number
Number
2. Do they get combined, or they're separate products?
We separate because the fraction 1 is
Nice.
yeah.
Number 2, it's okay.
It's more copper and gold.
This one looks more gray in color.
Yeah,
It's-
but because it's aluminum, lead, we have in the fraction 2.
So this is the number 1 is more gold.
Yeah,
And
we have
silver
Yeah, in 1 and lead aluminum in 2.
in 2, and copper in both. This is the number 3 here.
Yeah.
And it's, you said 20% aluminum or something.
18.
18.
18.
And there, this goes to the smelter or something.
Yes, yes, a smelter.
Yeah, a little tiny bit of copper wire, hardly any.
My
Some plastic, but mostly it's the aluminum.
Mm.
This is the number 2.
We have copper. Yep. Copper, aluminum, lead,
Mm-hmm.
tin.
The tin, the solder, some brass, maybe a little bit of iron.
Yeah. Fraction 4. We don't have any material in. It's only plastic. It's all waste.
So there's no metal in
Yeah.
this. This is, you said earlier, it's 99% recovery
Exactly.
of the metals.
Yeah.
Here's the waste after it comes off the shaker table. It's dried, and this material will go on to be incinerated to generate power in France.
For example, in 1 ton of raw material, we have 900, sorry, of waste.
900 of waste, average. So
Yeah.
1 ton, you get 100 kilograms of metallics and 900 kilograms of waste. And this is the high grade number 1. Do you mind if I ask how much do you sell this for?
8,000 per ton for copper, but you have the degrade by the aluminum or the gold. It's not paid.
The gold is not paid.
Yeah.
You don't get paid for the gold
No.
or the silver,
No.
just the copper.
Yeah.
Wow.
because we have only, for example, 10 gram of gold in 1 ton.
Mm-hmm.
He can't not paid for this.
Wow. So this is there. You know, there's gold in here,
Yeah.
but it's not paid for.
No, no.
Oh.
Yeah. It for this we can make the electrolyze in the future.
Yeah.
For concentrate the gold by the purification of copper.
So does this, you sell this to a copper smelter
Yep.
in Spain or Germany or somewhere?
France.
In France.
Yeah.
And so they recover the copper and the rest of the metals as well. You just don't get paid for the
Just pay for
yeah. So you get they don't pay for the aluminum. They don't pay for anything. Just the copper. It's a degrade.
Aluminum degrade the price.
The value. So if this was pure copper, it'd be 8,000 euros per ton.
Approximately, yeah.
But it's less because of the contaminants.
Yep.
And same with this. You get paid.
Yeah.
This is more contaminants here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have a carbon airplane.
Oh, the airplane carbon fiber.
Yep.
So they don't just use the diffractionator for recycling electronics. They can also recycle carbon fiber. So they put it through the machine, break it into the fiber, and they can separate the epoxy with the cyclone. And it comes out looking like this. And then there's another company here close in the valley, you said. IPC.
IPC, yes, it's at 10 kilometers off here.
10 kilometers. So they can take it and then they can recycle it into new carbon fiber parts. They can make any parts. Any carbon fiber.
Yeah, if you have a sample, you can just put the fiber and have a heavy press and just add new resin, and we can create
a new part, a new piece. So you could do bicycle helmets or car parts or airplane pieces or anything.
Yeah, but not airplane, because you have the airplane really strong
regulations. Yeah, for the so you can't use recycled carbon fiber.
You just recover the carbon of airplane, but we cannot recreate a new part for airplane.
Okay, it has to be some other machine piece.
Degrade the property of carbon.
But this is very cool. Carbon fiber is like the future, huh?
Yeah.
This is a big thing, and you're recycling it already.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So is this the resin then?
Yeah.
This is the resin here. So you recover the resin separate from the fiber.
Yeah.
Very cool. Panel recycling is a big deal, yeah. And so your fractionator can recycle solar panels.
Yeah.
And so you get the silver and the silicon powder here, and this is the cyclone. Or the table.
Under the cyclone, and just sheave.
Oh, this was a great tour, you guys. I really appreciate Moby Scrap letting me come and tour their plant, showing off the Mount Baker Mining and Metal shaker table. I will put their contact information in the description below here. If you're in Europe and would like to contact them about running some samples or processing some material, you can find their contact information down there. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.